to do this while it was light outside, but you know, the bitch had a nail and brow appointment. So I was like, y'all gonna give me when I'm in the flesh, okay? Lashes on fleek, brows on fleek, nails on fleek, okay? Y'all can't see my toes, but they look like white little M&Ms, okay? So today we're going to be talking about Indian giving, all right? I did a poll / like questionnaire or whatever with my Instagram followers, where I pretty much asked them, A, is it ever appropriate? Is it ever a situation in which it would be appropriate to ask for a gift back? That was number one. Then I asked my followers to give me, if they've ever had a gift taken from them, or if they've ever been the one to ask for a gift back, to tell me what it was. So the inspiration for this came from a conversation I was having with my homegirl, where she pretty much was telling me how at one point her ex tried to take back a dog that he got her. And I was like, oh no, sis, like, you can't, like, animals have like emotional attachment. Like, it's not materialistic anymore. Like, this is a thing, something living. So it inspired me to maybe like share my history with giving gifts and situations I've had, as well as seeing if other people have been an Indian giver. You know, it's not something that I'm proud of, but we're going to get into my story a little later. So when I asked the question, 18, because I have this written down, 18 people said yes, that there are certain circumstances in which you can ask for a gift back, or it would be appropriate to ask for a gift back. And 44 people said no. So the consensus seems to be, if it's an engagement ring, that's like the number one gift you could ask for back. And I think it's like this in certain states. Legally, whoever breaks up the engagement is like who's not or is responsible. So like, if the woman calls the engagement off, she is supposed to, like, legally, he can take her to court to get the ring back, and the judge will probably rule in his favor. If he breaks up the engagement, she gets to keep it. It's a gift. You don't want to get married anymore, that's on you. I'm keeping my ring. So that seems to be like the number one reason why people feel like, okay, that's the one thing that you could ask for back, where it wouldn't necessarily be too wrong. Because I mean, if y'all not getting married, essentially, like, I don't know if I would want the ring, okay? So before I get started into the depth piece of this, I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the responses that I got from some of my followers about gifts that they either asked to get back or were taken back from them. So go ahead and look at this, because this shit is like, it's pretty sad and funny at the same time. Okay, so I hope y'all got a little cackle out of that, because people are really crazy, especially with the dogs. You can't get somebody a whole dog and then want it back, unless the only time I heard of a dog going with the person who gave it after they broke up was because the other person couldn't afford to take care of the dog. So that's a different circumstance. But so let me tell y'all a little bit about my history with giving gifts. I have always been a chronic gift giver, specifically to the men that I was fucking with, right? Like, back then, it didn't take nothing but a sob story, you know, for me to be like, oh my God, let me take care of him. Or I used to feel like I'm somebody that kind of likes to control things. So I'll go buy a nigga some clothes and some shoes because I don't like the way he fucking dresses, or I think he could be a little fresher. You know what I mean? So some of what I started to realize as I got older is some of my gift giving wasn't necessarily coming from the right place. You know, I can look back and say I gave gifts to you know, win their approval, to get on their good side. You know, I can look back and say like that was a way in which I wanted to get validation from a man by giving him something like, oh, like ain't nobody ever did this for me before. Like I would look for them type of reactions. But when I tell you, the funniest time in which I really got some shit back, because up until a certain point, I was just taking L's. Like when we broke up, you know, whatever, you keep the shit, you know. And it was one time in particular when I was messing with this crazy nigga in Champaign. As I was packing my shit up to walk out of his crib, I'm staring at like the breads I had just bought him, the motherfucking polo shit I had just bought him, some bullshit. I'm staring at it because this was the gag about him. This nigga was like, oh, I ain't never had no good Christmas before. Ain't nobody ever got me shit. So I was, you know, I was expecting like some pearl earrings in return, bitch. Do y'all think I ever saw them motherfucking pearl earrings? So as I was getting my shit together to walk out this man's house, it took everything in me not to grab them motherfucking 11s, the breads, and throw them in my basket, but I didn't. So that's always gonna be a blessing to him. But anyway, so because of that one situation, I've harbored animosity about like taking an L on giving a gift, right? So the funniest, it's funny to me. It's funny now. I'm just gonna say that. So my last ex, I felt bad because when we initially moved in together, he didn't have a laptop to do his homework on. He was always using my shit. So I felt bad, right? So when I started grad school that fall, I got my motherfucking refund check. I'm like, I'ma hook baby up. Went to Best Buy, got him a nice little HP. You know? That shit was good. He doing his homework, I'm doing my homework, we all good. And when shit started to go south, one day we was having an argument, right? And while we was having an argument, he was like working on some homework or some shit. And so he decided, you know, he get to talking about how he moving out. Okay. So he getting all mad. He like, I'm out of here. I'm leaving. This nigga must have closed that laptop, tried to put it in his book bag. I said, put it back. Put it back. You think you're taking that laptop? The laptop that I spent $500 on? Oh no. Baby, he was so shitty. When he tried to act like he ain't care, snatched it out the book bag like, that's fine, like. And thank God I kept that laptop, because when my MacBook went out last August, I would have been up the creek without a motherfucking paddle. So I'm gonna say that me, Indian, giving that gift paid off in the end. Okay. I don't think the nigga finished school no way, so it's not like it really mattered. Okay, anyway, moving on. So anyway, after that relationship, I started going to therapy, and you know, I was able to look back and be able to see like I was somebody who was truly, I wasn't giving from the right place. Like it was even, I technically did gift this nigga. One time, I never forget, I let this dude, he needed some earrings or whatever. Like, I don't know if he lost his or whatever. So I gave him some old nice earrings that I had. And then like a couple weeks later, found out that nigga got a hickey from a bitch that wasn't me. And we wasn't even in a relationship. But I was still like, you got the audacity to get a hickey from a bitch with my earrings in your ear? Like, you got me bent. So even looking back, and that was years before the shit happened with my ex. So even looking back, I'm able to be like, you know, I was not giving from the right place. And after that experience, I'm not going to say I stopped giving, but I put certain boundaries and parameters on when I would allow myself to give to a man that I was involved with. And I want to share some of like the things that I want you all to think about when you give somebody a gift, right? So if you are somebody that finds yourself like giving gifts a lot, or either like when you do give gifts, you end up feeling a lot of regret behind it, you really want to sit and explore the part of you that needs to give. Because a lot of times people will use gift giving as a way to build their self-worth. Like they only feel like they are doing something right when they are giving to somebody else. And people will also give gifts a lot to avoid their own problems, their own struggles. They will use it as a distraction. So you want to see, are you hustling for your worthiness? Like, are you doing this because the validation that you get from the person gives you a rush that you can't seem to get anywhere else? And you will also want to think about, are you giving to win approval? Like, are you doing this for the sole purpose of wanting that person to like you more? Or is it because you actually thought about them, saw something that you thought that they would like, and you're giving from like the core of your heart? Because one of the best things that I ended up learning was, if you're going to give to somebody, like, make sure that there is literally no strings attached. Like, I think that that's done more for me as far as making me think first, do I really want to give this person a gift? Like, if they don't reciprocate, am I going to care? Because if I'm going to care if they don't reciprocate, then that means I probably shouldn't give the gift. Sometimes by being an overgiver, you end up displaying a lack of boundaries. So if you are giving outside of your boundaries, you're going to end up feeling resentful because you feel like it's something that you need to do in order to have a certain result, instead of because you really want to and don't expect anything out of it. So a few things I want you to think about before you give somebody a gift. Because again, it's never really like, I'm at a place now where I'm mature enough to know, like, I'm never going to give somebody something that I would want to take back. So these are the questions to think about before you give somebody a gift. Like, you got to ask yourself, is this person worth it? Is this going to set me back? So like some people said, they ended up being broke, or, it kind of hurt them financially or whatever, where they needed the money later on down the line. So is this going to set you back from, being fucked up with your savings or whatever the case may be? How long have you known the person? Like, making sure that you actually have history with this person, and you're not giving just because you feeling all these giddy emotions that you like them or whatever. Again, if you're going to later on miss it or regret it. You also want to think about how many times you've given to them before. Like, if it's been repeated, you want to pay attention to that, because to follow that up, you want to think about how many times has this person given to you. Like, again, you don't want it to always be I only give to receive. However, you do want reciprocity. So you want to have a relationship where it's mutual. I'm not the only person giving and you're not the only person taking, or vice versa. And again, you want to think about, are you going to be regretful if the situation doesn't work out for giving them that gift? Like, I think that's the most important question. Like, that makes me think twice before I go even do something real nice for a nigga. Like, am I gonna be mad if this don't work out and we end up not fucking with each other no more? If I'm gonna want to take the shit back, or do some shit like that, I don't need to be giving it to him. Okay? So I hope that this provided you all with a smidge of new knowledge, because again, people always love to get gifts. Like, of course that's a love language. So we like to be thought about and to feel appreciated and all that stuff. And I knew I wasn't the only person who had went through this Indian giving where you felt like you needed your shit back. Because either the person didn't, hold up their end of the bargain, or you fell on hard times or whatever. So you want to consider all of that as an adult before you get to giving stuff. Because again, you always want to give something you're not going to miss. Especially like if it just comes to even, giving out cash and all that other shit. So something to think about. I hope you all have a great evening. Okay, I'm going to lay it on down. All right. So thanks for coming to my TED Talk.